Hello, everybody. You might notice I'm in a different location. You like the white wall behind me? I'm sitting in like I don't know, it reminds me of a restaurant booth. It's got, you know, a table and benches, because I'm at a retreat. I am at a retreat in the big town of Chesaning, Michigan, having a good time over here. And I'm downstairs in the basement in the kitchen area, and everybody else is upstairs crafting away, diamond painting and doing their thing. And last I knew, they were trying to put this live on the big screen TV upstairs. Anyhow, Chuck is here. I'm going to say hello to everybody who's here, and then we will just get Chuck right in here and let him take away the show. So, who all do we have? Let's see. We've got Sue and Allison and Linda. Hello, Susan and Margie. And Joyce is here. Hey, Joyce. Jess is here. I recognize a lot of your names from doing the Chuck Along. And you guys are getting your pictures in, so you get your progress points and whatnot. Shannon, hello, and Sherry. Right, Jess? Can't wait to see what he's been working on. I know, right? I'm always excited to see what he's been working on. We get to see things that you probably don't see anyplace else, which is really cool. Let's see, who else is hanging out? Joe, hello, Joe. Robin, hello, Robin and Diana. Just a little note, you do have until the very end of the month, like midnight, last day of the month, to post if you have progress for the last week, or if you have a finish. Well, you have progress if you have progress, and a finish if you have a finish, okay? Hello, Janet. Joanna, hello. Joanna's upstairs. Hi, Joanna. Brenda, hey, Brenda, haven't talked to you in a minute. There's Maritza. Maritza said she's got a cold. Otherwise, Maritza would be on live with us, but she's got a cold. So she's just going to be in the chat. Marla and Marion, Cat Hair and Chaos. Hello. Hello, Laura. We're having a great day here. We're having fun. I'm getting a lot done. I'm working on Hope Runs Deep. And my goal is to finish Hope Runs Deep by the end of the month. I'm down to less than a quarter. I have been cruising, making progress. Hello, Terry and Leona. Hello, Dorothy and Dawn. Let's see. Kristen, upstairs. Hey, Kristen, upstairs. Did I say hi, Robin? I don't know if I said hi to Robin. Ellie, hello. Leaky Space Blob. I don't think I know you, Leaky Space Blob. How are you? Candace is here. Shelly's here. She's upstairs too. Sue's upstairs. Hello. Oh, Sue, don't tell me that. That makes me nervous. Makes me nervous to know that a whole room full of people is watching this on TV upstairs. Oh, goodness. No pressure, Chuck, right? No pressure. Carolyn, hello. Potato Sparkle. Okay, hello. I don't think I've met Potato Sparkle. How are you? John's here. I know John. John or Dawn, one of them watches on TV. I know that. Hello, Patty. Patty's here. I know, Carolyn, I got the horse painting, Free to Roam. I finally got it. It finally came back into stock. The only one I had missed was that one, and it finally came back into stock, and I finally got it. Yay, I'm so happy. Colleen, Katya, hello. There's a whole bunch of you guys here. Hello, Granny. Granny's here. Hello, Sean from upstairs. Hello, Mandy. Let's see. Did I make it to the bottom? I made it to the bottom of all the hellos and all the comments. So welcome. So excited to have everybody here. And Chuck and I have been chatting back and forth a little bit. Hello, Julie. And I'm going to let him just kind of take over. He kind of knows what he's going to do. He's got some stuff to show you and some stuff to talk about. And I'm going to kind of let him just get in there and do what he does, because he does a good job. All right. So let's just let him come on in, and I'll figure out how to do the camera angles here. So first of all, let's start like that. How's that look? All right. And then can I hear him? Can I hear you?
So how's it going, Mindy? Can you hear me? Is that good?
Yep, I can hear you now. Can everybody else hear? I can hear you now. Good. I had to turn my volume up on my computer. Cool.
Good.
All right. How are you?
Well, doing pretty well. Just been working away.
I'm sure.
And, well, we've been. I wanted to do this interview on our new screen porch, but due to our neighbors working on their projects, I was afraid there'd be too much construction going on.
Mm-hmm.
So it might get too loud, but yeah, that's one thing we've been up to lately is just we wanted to do a backyard renovation because we love the outdoors so much and have a place to have some folks over and
Nice.
enjoy the outdoors, and planted a bunch of plants, roses and azaleas, and just all kinds of different things back there. And apparently I'm not as good at growing the plants as I am at painting them. So so far they're not all blooming.
Well,
It doesn't help that the deer are coming out to eat the roses either. So
right.
So that's been a little bit of a learning curve on the gardening side. But yep, and I worked on building a patio this summer, and so that was a new project for me. I've never done actual stonework. I more just paint the stones, and I found painting the stones is a lot easier, right? So lifting
than installing.
quite the chore, and made me wish I'd maybe hired somebody, but then you have the pride of doing it yourself and seeing your own work. And I got my daughter involved with that, and the neighbor boy helped me some, and so
Nice.
But anyway, we'll focus on the painting anyway.
Yeah, no, I mean, I know what it's like. We do a lot of stuff around our house. We're working on our flower garden. I have a whole garden that's just flowers. To keep things from eating my tulips out there, we're doing a whole new build with a portable greenhouse thing. And once you get something done, you put in a lot of hard work. You're so proud of it. I get it totally.
Yeah.
You'll have to post some pictures or something on Instagram or something like that.
That'd be a good idea. Yeah, I should have sent you something.
Yeah, post some pictures.
Yeah, I should.
I know it's hard work, but it's so worth it and so rewarding when you're done with it.
That's right. Exactly right. Yeah, the idea phase is easy, and then the finish is easy. It's just the getting there. Right?
I know. Well, I left for the weekend. I left my husband home with the portable greenhouse project, and he's working on doing a base. And I'm like, I know I'll get home, and it'll probably be constructed and ready to do the planting boxes, and so that's nice. But
well, you folks living up north would see how you would need that. So
yeah. And it's not the deer that get in and eat the tulips. I have tiny little critters that get in, like chipmunks. Get in there and eat my tulips. So,
right.
Yeah. But have faith. Your plants will grow and they'll bloom. And you're in the South. You get good weather. You'll bloom. So,
right.
Yeah. Post pictures on Instagram. We love to see what you're up to. So.
Okay. Yeah, I should do that.
Okay. So, what's your plan for the night? What are you going to show? And
so I've got 3 paintings that are pretty new, and I'm not sure, but I'm not sure if Diamond Art Club has put these out yet. Maybe they have. I think you mentioned they might have one out, but we'll see what they have. You guys see if you recognize.
I know one was just in the last vote, like a couple of days ago. There was one in the vote that I'd never seen before. So.
Okay, well, I'll tell you about that one, and I'll tell you as usual a little bit of the meaning behind them, or what I'm thinking and why I did what I did, and hopefully it's an enjoyable night for all your diamond painters out there. I hope you guys are having a good time, and
they're all excited.
And I don't do a lot of interviews, so make a special case for you guys, and always try to show up.
And I appreciate it. We all appreciate it so much. We love it when you come on, because it's like we get a little inside scoop of things that other people out there in the world don't know about yet, So it's fun.
Well, I'm humbled by that. So, and
Yeah.
honored. So,
And people look forward to it. They ask me all the time. They're like, "Are you going to have Chuck on this time? Are you going to have Chuck on this time?" And I always like, "I'm going to do once a year. We're going to try once a year, because we do it twice a year. We'll try one time each year, and it's worked out for us pretty good so far." So
yeah, I think that's been working, and I wish I could be a little more available. Sometimes I have so many projects and so many things I want to be
I
doing.
know.
It's just tough to always get to everything that's worthwhile. But you guys are definitely, you guys are all stars in my book, and the diamond art has definitely been something I really appreciate. All the folks who do it and have followed my work, that means a lot to me. So
yeah. So the cool thing about being at this retreat this weekend, while we're kind of at the end of the Chuck along this time, and there's several people upstairs that are working on a painting, and they're working on some that I haven't done personally. So I get to kind of look around and see like, wow, look at how that one's turning out, or look at that one, how that one's turning out. So that's always fun for me because I certainly haven't done all of them, but I get to see how they're turning out when other people work on them too. And not just in pictures, because sometimes pictures don't show up, that they don't show up anywhere near as pretty as they are in real life, face to face. So it's fun to see other people's paintings they're working on. So
yeah, that's true. I've seen some pictures and they seem to look really, really nice. And then
yeah,
a couple people have sent me some, you know who you are, and those of you who have, thank you for that. And they look really cool.
Yeah.
Close. So I hope you guys are enjoying your finished products with those. But if you want, I'll start on the first one and we'll see.
I'm going to change the view of the screen here. So hopefully I get just you. So you're full screen. Let's see if this works. That didn't work. Okay. Let's try this one. No, not that one either. I always mess with this because I never know how this works right. That's not right either. Okay. You can go ahead and get set up and stuff, and I'll just play with the camera.
I'll try to get my camera going.
Yeah.
This little camera is not always as easy as to maneuver as you would think it should be because it works opposite. So whichever way I move it,
not that. I don't want that. I don't want that. Why is this so difficult? I do this every time. I don't do this enough to know exactly how to do it. Crashly, you're out there. Crashly, which button do I push to get just him? Tell me. That just made us both small. I don't like that one. That's not good. Oh, wait. Hang on. Do I do this? Maximize. I got it. There we go. Perfect. It's all you. There we go.
All right. Let me tell you about this painting. I think you were saying they would just put it for the vote in Diamond Art Club. I don't know if they're going to come out with it, but we'll find out. Anyway, this painting is called Seaside Vista. And I did it smaller than I typically do. My normal size is usually like 24 by 32. This one I think is a 15 by about 20 or so, somewhere in there. And I sort of saw this as an experimental painting. I like to do those from time to time because when I say experimental, I'm trying new things, new techniques, new mediums. I do a lot of different mixes with the various mediums to try to see, okay, well, what effects could I get with this medium? What effects could I get with that medium? What effects can I get with different brushes? And how do the layers work over top of each other? Because all of it is a variable, or all of it's different variables. So when you're trying to find the process, or a quicker process, or a better process to get exactly the look that you want, or a look that you might like, then it just takes some time to find that. If any of you have done any art, you know that, but it's the same probably with crafts or other things that you'd work on.
Yeah. I mean, this weekend I see people sharing with other people, like, have you tried this in your pen? Have you done this? Do you like this? How about this? So we're always playing with our tools and stuff too. So we can relate to that.
Yeah, exactly. They're just, it's kind of like good, better, and best. You want to find the right methods that work for you. And, it sounds like that's true for diamond art too.
Yep.
But anyway, with this painting, I just love the feel of places where I would want to go to relax. I would want to go to unwind, to pray, to just be alone and de-stress from the world. So all of my paintings sort of come back to that theme. And this one, I think I started this when it was really cold outside. Probably we don't really get blizzards down in Georgia, but it's kind of it still does get cold, and I don't particularly like the cold. So I would imagine that I started dreaming of maybe a island in the Bahamas or like that, and I could see this being in a place like that. But all of my scenes are imaginative, or almost all of them are imaginative, in the sense that this is not a real place. It's based on probably hundreds of different reference photos that I would look at, but in the end, the scene is more a conglomeration of a lot of various things that I put together.
A little bit of this and a little bit of that, and
right. And I lay it out and I say, well, I really like a cove being right here, and maybe there's a boat that's floating out there with a couple people in there. I don't know if you can zoom in a little bit there. And I started thinking, well, maybe there's some cottages over here that someone would enjoy. I would certainly enjoy spending a week or two in a place like this.
Oh yeah,
get away from everything, right? And I think about painting bushes, for example. This is not exactly the type of, wouldn't find maybe all of the bushes that I was painting in a place like this, but for me, that's part of the fun of the creative process. Is I'm pulling together different things that I like and putting them together in a way that you wouldn't always find them in the real world, but creates part of the magic of the scene, for me at least. And so yeah, just some of these are just bushes that I would like, the roses, or the it's another type of flower that would grow in a tropical environment.
Sit there, watch the birds peck around and all that fun stuff.
Exactly. I got a couple of shorebirds in here. And this being a smaller painting, it's really hard to get the details in the birds as much as I do on the larger ones. Of course, I know for diamond art, those details don't really matter as much, I guess. They don't come through, but in terms of the,
depending on how big the objects are, they come, the smaller ones are more of a kind of a suggestion. You can tell it's a bird or whatnot, but not all the details necessarily.
Yeah. One of the things I explored in this painting, as well as you can see, I did different colors in the palm trees up here. So like this one is a little more red right there. Let me get my camera up there a little closer. There we go. You can see some of them are greener, some of them are redder, some of them are more purple, kind of a deeper maroon in the shadows. So I'm kind of playing around with what does the different colors, how does that look together, and would I want to incorporate that in a larger scene? So every painting for me is something that I'm learning from. Every painting is something that I'm thinking, how can I use this again, or do I not want to do that again? Or, giving me a feedback of what things look good together. I think I'm a little crooked there. Okay. Now straighter. And so I just noticed right before we came on that all three paintings tonight have a lighthouse in them.
Do they really? All three?
Yeah, and I did not plan that on purpose. It was just coincidental that.
Well, I am not gonna complain about that, because my love of lighthouses, my husband and I traveling to find lighthouses. I love lighthouse paintings. Absolutely adore them.
Yeah, they're all quite different, actually, in terms.
Oh yeah.
style, and I try to pull different ideas, and some of them are not real lighthouses exactly the way you would see them in maybe wherever they would be from, but I look at a lot of different references, like I said, and sometimes it brings to mind a way that I might want to do a lighthouse, and or I might see one I like and then make some changes that fit the scene I want it to fit into. So that's part of the fun of painting.
Yeah, somebody was just talking about the clouds and how pretty the clouds are. Some of the skies in some of your paintings, like the one I'm doing right now, they're just beautiful.
You said you were doing Hope Runs Deep, right?
Yeah.
I'm always liking to experiment with different skies. I love the morning sunrises. I'm not usually up early enough to see them a lot of days. I don't know if you're like me. I'm not a morning person.
Yeah.
But I love the sunsets, and I see more of those. But, I was definitely experimenting with the clouds in this one a lot.
Yeah, because sometimes they're pink, sometimes they're oranges, sometimes they're both. I mean, it all depends on what time of day you were capturing the clouds and stuff. Mm-hmm. But they always turn out really nice. And it's fun to paint the skies and the clouds and stuff. The rest of the paintings, like when you get to the flowers and the trees and all that, is what we call confetti. It's where there's a lot of colors, but not very many of each color. So you have to get a lot of different colors, a few drills of each one. And so those sections take us longer to put the drills down because we're using so many different colors. The skies and things like that, you'll get more solid blocks of one color, so they diamond paint faster. So it's two different kind of diamond painting for us. The big blotches of color, and then the smaller little, there's one of these or two of those, Mm-hmm. So totally different types of diamond painting for us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's really neat how they can make it, I guess, on the renderings be very specific with the different colors so that you're not just doing one giant block of color.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I find that as one of the fun parts about oil painting is that you can just layer all these different colors over each other and get different colors right next to each other and that kind of thing. So
there's my husband piping in his 2 cents over here. He's like, we need to see more from the Great Lakes.
Oh yeah. I probably should do something from some different regions like that.
Yeah.
I have never been to the Great Lakes, and so maybe I need to visit up there.
You should, because you know what? Having these retreats and stuff and having people from other states that have never been here before, and when we take them out to one of the Great Lakes to see it, they look at it and they're like, wait, whoa, that's a lake? That looks like the ocean. Mm-hmm. And they really do. They really can because they're so big. But we have beautiful beaches. I mean, you should come visit and you might find some inspiration from some of the Great Lakes because they're beautiful. And they have beautiful, beautiful beaches and stuff.
Yeah, I had a friend from Minnesota who was talking about, and I know that's not maybe exactly, maybe it is right on the Great Lakes. I could be getting off on my geography, but I haven't been anywhere in that region really. And so he was saying how there's so many different lakes and so many different things to see that's really wild and natural and has a lot of beauty. So might be worth maybe taking a trip and going.
Yeah. Because you guys went out west not too long ago, right?
Correct. Yeah, we went to Arizona last Christmas. My brother lives out there in Phoenix, and my daughter had never been before, and we just thought it'd be fun to go see. We went to the Grand Canyon, and we went to Sedona, and we went to
gorgeous places.
We went way up north to Page, Arizona, where there's these slot canyons. I forget the Antelope Canyon, I think it's called. If you've ever been there, it's really a neat slot canyon. It goes down probably 100 feet or more, and there's just rock walls on either side, and it's almost grim enough for one or two people maybe to get across in certain areas. and the light comes down through this canyon, and it's just beautiful the way it shines on the walls and all
Mhm.
these different colors and light effects. So after I went to Arizona, I was thinking, man, I'd really like to do a Arizona painting of some kind, desert painting,
Yeah.
because normally you think deserts are, we just kind of I have this idea in my mind. Well, desert is ugly, but going to Arizona, it was like so beautiful in
Yeah.
its own way, and so I was thinking, well, maybe I should do something like that. But then
Yeah.
I don't know how that appeals to, um,
Oh,
different.
it would be beautiful. And like, we went to Utah and everything there, like the red rock and all that, it's all so pretty. And there's so many plants that grow out there in that too. It would be a beautiful painting.
Yeah, and my wife's been talking to me a lot about going to Utah, and I guess there's the five national parks, and then there's a couple of good state
Yeah.
parks, I believe.
Yeah.
So that's on our list to get there, and
Yeah.
um, it is some pretty great
I
natural
mean,
there.
face it, all of nature is beautiful. It's beautiful. It's all unique. So many different types of landscapes and plant life, and that's the beauty of the country. There's so much unique beauty out there.
Yeah, we really do live in a beautiful country,
We do.
I'll say, and just it's pretty diverse in terms of what you can see.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this: I did live in West Texas for about 6 or 7 years, and that did not resonate with me. It was really hard to find beauty out there because it's just these little scrub bushes,
Yeah.
mesquite trees. But my wife always pointed out you get this big grand sky every day, so you can see the sunrise and a big sunset.
Hmm.
And places like Austin, Texas are pretty, and some of the southern regions, but West Texas was not my favorite. So I'm glad to be in a four season area like Georgia.
Right. Me
I
too. I love the Four Seasons.
Well, let me move on to the next one here. I think you guys saw this one. This next one is. Let me just pull it up here. Grab it. Okay, so I don't know if you guys have seen this. Tell me if you have.
I don't know if that one has been in a vote or not.
I don't know. I thought I had sent it to him.
I
Maybe I
think I've seen it somewhere, but I don't know if it came through a vote or if I just saw it on one of the sites or something. But
Yeah, so this painting is one that I call Peace After the Storm. And one of the themes that I had for this painting, or what I really wanted to communicate with it, was we all have storms in life. We have pain in our life. We're all going through something. And sometimes you're going through something really hard. Sometimes you're just going through the normal pains of life. But there's a peace to knowing that that storm's not going to last forever,
hmm.
and that there are brighter days, there are bright things to look forward to, and that it's going to be okay, whether it's in this life or the next. And so, focus on that, focus on the light rather than the darkness, so to speak. So, getting through the storm is really the theme. And if you've noticed, I haven't done that many paintings with a dark sky or a stormy sky.
Yeah.
And I really wanted to explore that more and try to do something um, that just created a different mood and a different setting. It wasn't as bright and cheery as my other work in the same way, um, in terms of just the feel and the time of day. But this one also, I was thinking like maybe like almost the Outer Banks. I don't know if any of your viewers have been to the Outer Banks. They go along North Carolina. It's the state I'm originally from, is North Carolina. and I've been to the Outer Banks a couple of times, and it's just these barrier islands that go along um, on the Atlantic there, and they're very flat. They're very prone to flooding and so on, but they're more natural than your big built up places like Myrtle Beach or
Hmm.
Virginia Beach or something like that, um, which is a different kind of fun, right? But
Yeah.
the Outer Banks, when I visited there, spoke to me because of just the pristine nature of the islands, and obviously there's some things that wouldn't fit there. Like if you see the mountains in the background here, I'll zoom in a
Yeah.
bit past these sailboats. That wouldn't be there. That's more of a. I'm always taking artistic liberties and saying, well, I just go for the scene the way I want it to look. So I'm not always true to a location or a geography.
Right. Yeah. Somebody said, "Oh, there's a horse," and I was like, "What? There's a horse? Yeah, there is a horse."
Yeah, let me tell you. Let me tell you a little bit about why I put a horse on this one. Well, I like to put animals, of course, and I like to have a lot of different things going on.
And it's not a wild horse because it has a halter.
Right. But I'll tell you a story. So on the Outer Banks themselves, there are wild horses,
Yeah.
and they date back to, I looked it up, and I think they date back to the 1500s or so. The early Spanish settlers or explorers brought horses, and I think they were either lost in some of the shipwrecks
Yeah.
or lost in transport.
Yeah.
And so these wild herds formed along these barrier islands. And it's not necessarily the best environment for a horse to survive, but they managed to adapt and
Hmm.
managed to survive. And so there's still these colonies of horses dating back hundreds of years. And they're protected now. You can't go up to them, you can't touch them or anything, but they're Spanish Mustangs that they just roam the beaches and the shorelines
Yeah.
and find the wild stuff to eat.
Yeah.
Um,
I'd
so,
like to go there and see that. We visited Chincoteague Island where the wild horses are up there, and that's pretty cool too.
yeah. And I put a lighthouse here. If you go to the Outer Banks, there's a lighthouse called Cape Hatteras. Many
Yeah,
of you
I've heard
probably
of that.
heard of it. And it does not look like this. This is not Cape Hatteras Lighthouse.
Is Cape
But
Hatteras the red and white one? Big tall red and
it
white
has
one?
it's white and black, and it kind
Oh,
of
the white and black. Okay. Yeah.
spiral look to it. But it's a very famous lighthouse, and they had to move it because the erosion was getting under it,
Oh,
and
they did? They moved it? Huh.
they moved it. Yeah, they spent untold sums of money they raised to save it from basically, just the
Being
shifting.
destroyed. Huh.
Yeah, the shores were eventually gonna erode the foundation,
Yeah.
and so they moved Cape Hatteras Lighthouse. I I didn't really. I thought about putting something like that on this one, but this more like I just kind of like this more square looking one with the stones, and I just thought I could see how that would fit really well with the architecture of the house here, the cottage.
It
And
does.
so
They kind of match.
I chose something a little different. So, like I said, I'm not always locked into what you might find in a exact location, but I thought it looked well together. And
One of my favorite things you do is the little animals. Like, is it a cardinal on the fence post?
okay, yes, move zoomed down right here. So I put two cardinals, little cardinal.
Yeah, a male and a female. There we go. I didn't see the female at first. I love it when you do that. And especially when we diamond paint them, it's fun because all of a sudden you'll be like, wait, what was that? Oh, I made a bird. Or, oh, I just made a butterfly, you know?
Yeah, that's neat that comes through because I'm not always sure what would come through.
Yeah.
Being that you're limited to the size of the drills, I guess,
Right.
and the size of your canvas, and what all, how quickly you can make little tiny details with it.
Yeah.
Not always easy, but I don't know if this is true for some of your viewers and diamond painters. Would be if there's something you don't like in a painting, if it's a little too busy for you, It doesn't bother me at all. Take it out,
As a matter of fact, somebody this weekend is doing a painting that had a rainbow in it, and they really didn't want the rainbow in it. They were going to just make it a pretty sky and take the rainbow out. And I was like, it's your painting and your creativity, and that's the way that you can express your view of the art. So sometimes people do a little alteration on things. So,
well, I'm glad to hear you're making it your own, and do what makes you happy with it and how you like the end scene to be. And if you want to take something out, put something in, do that and make it look good.
Yeah.
So, anyways, let's see, what else do we got here? I
saw that, Jeff. Somebody in the group is they don't care for palm trees. They like the rest of the painting, but they're not a fan of palm trees. Mm-hmm. So they're altering the palm trees to be some other type of tree. I don't know what exactly, but it's not a palm tree. So
yeah, that's it takes some. I'm sure it takes some effort and some creativity to.
I'm sure it does. Yes.
Okay, what color drill would I want to put here? What would I want to put there?
Yeah. How do I change this?
I don't know how forgiving that is in terms of if you don't like where you've got something, but painting, you can just paint over it if you don't like it. So that's pretty easy.
True. And I mean, truthfully, we can just take the drills back off too if we didn't like how it turned out. Mm-hmm. So it's not permanent. We can take them off if something didn't turn out the way you liked it. And a lot of people are into what we call enhancements, where there's all kinds of different special drills now, like rhinestones and things that have little mica powder in them, so they have extra shimmer. And people are really getting into adding some of those types of drills to the paintings to give it their own feel, what they like to highlight certain things. So that's fun too.
Yeah, that is pretty neat that they keep coming out with new little ways to make it unique and better and personalize and customize.
There's a ton of birds in this one.
Yes, there are. There's a bunch of different kinds of birds, but I kind of hit them in the bushes a lot. They're not all front and center.
Yeah.
Also with the shells, I've got quite a few shells.
Sand dollars.
I'm told with the shells, a lot of beaches you go to that are popular, you won't see these kind of shells as you're walking along, right? But I'm told that there's some islands, and I can't remember if it's in Georgia or if it's in North Carolina, but there's some islands that are protected in terms of that you can't take the shells off the beach. And if you walk on those beaches, a lot of these big shells are just laying out there. And it's like it would have been back when the settlers first found these beaches, or the Native Americans were here. Whoever first found these beaches, these eastern seaboard.
So, I mean, I get that because, in Michigan around the Great Lakes, we have things like Petoskey stones, and there's agates, and there's some special stones, and people love to go collect those things. And I don't know, is there an unending supply of those if people keep picking them up off the beaches? Are there still going to be some years to come, or are they, I don't know. But at least, right now you can still go pick those up and collect them. There's no laws against it, but except for there is one stone. It's called a green stone. You cannot go harvest any green stone from the beaches where you can find that, but that one's protected.
Yeah, we went to, when was it? 2 or 3 years ago, we went to, I might have said this last time, we went to Alaska, but we went through Seattle. And so we went to some of the beaches along Olympic National Park. And there's a lot of the stones there. What you were saying reminded me of there, because you just walk along, there's a brown one, and then there's a bluish one, there's a greenish one, there's a purplish one, and you see all these different colors in the stones. And we don't have anything like that here in Georgia. So we were pretty enamored with it, and we were picking them up and taking a few back just for keepsakes and stuff.
Yeah, that stonework on that house will be a lot of color changes and drills. I'm sure it was a lot of color changes in paint too.
So this, yeah, the house on this cottage here, what I was going for, and I don't know if this look is coming through, but I was going for the cedar shake siding look. So it's little pieces of wood
Okay, yeah.
used for the siding. I guess it could be like stone, but I was trying to make it look like the
Yeah, now when you zoom in on it, but it could be either one.
yeah.
You
It could be either one. I see what you were saying with the stones looking that way, but
Yeah.
if you go to the Outer Banks, there are a lot of houses that use this type of siding that is
Uh-huh.
cedar shake siding, and it's resistant to insects, I think, and rotting and all those things.
Here's one of the things that amazes me is how you have like a glow on the side of that house, which would be coming from all that sun and whatnot.
I'm trying to tilt my canvas down a little bit so it's not so much glare as I move this camera over it. Part of the glow, a lot of trying to get a glow on it is keeping things dark and in shadows around the glow so that when your light areas really bounce
Mm-hmm.
and pop. And that's what I like to go for. And it's not actually even showing up on the camera as much as it really does pop and glow. That's really one of the things I was trying to explore with this painting was it's such a dark sky and such a sort of a darker time of day than I normally do, that could I really bring out these really just contrasting highlights
Yeah.
more. And the green tree behind, I really wanted that green tree to pop against that blue sky, that dark blue sky. Sorry.
Because that happens like after the storm sometimes when the sky starts to change and the storm passes through and things start to lighten up. Sometimes there's this weird, I call it, it's kind of almost eerie. It's not eerie, but there's this different look to the sky and different coloration of things as the sun's now come peeking back out of the clouds and stuff. And that's what that tree, the green one, reminds me of. It's like that's where the sun's now going to come and shine first, and it's going to illuminate the tree as the first thing that's going to get lighter after the dark clouds go by.
Exactly. And it's just something about the way that it contrasts with the darks.
Yeah.
Really appeals to me. And so that's one of the things I want.
I can almost picture lightning in the clouds, like a lightning flash.
Yeah. I probably could have put a lightning flash in here.
Yeah.
I should have. And I might do another sky like this or something with a stormy background. But this was my first experiment really with.
It turned out really nice. It's pretty, very, 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 very pretty.
I will say, I did want to mention this. If you are familiar with this painting, you've seen it before, or you see it somewhere, or it does come out on Diamond Art or something else, this guy is actually not this guy exactly that you will see, because here's what happened is I painted a sky that's similar to this, but these clouds here were not exactly done the same way. What ended up happening was I got done with the painting. Like I said, well, I kind of like it. I'm not sure on the sky. And then I got a scan, got the file back. I was ready to send it out to the companies that I work with. And then I said, well, I think I can do a different sky I would like better. And so I kind of sort of got enamored with repainting this. So I took the original back, I put it on my easel, and I started painting over the sky that I had. And I painted this sky, and then and then got the painting rescanned and looked at the two, and I really had a hard time trying to pick between which one I liked better. Was it going to be this sky, or was it going to be the other one that I had? And I ended up sticking with the other one that I had originally, and so I kind of wish I didn't paint over it, but I think this one did turn out pretty well, though.
So we might see the other one that was the original one, or we're just going to see this one.
Yeah, you would probably see the other sky, but it's very similar. It is very similar. The only difference is really a few clouds. I probably notice it more than most people because I'm noticing where everything is, in terms of this cloud should be over there, that cloud should be over there. But I didn't have quite as many clouds right here in the original, the first version that I did, I should say. And I changed it and make sure I get that square. And so let me see what else. Was there anything else I was going to tell you guys about this one? I would say the horseshoes, if you notice those, that was just another little detail that came to mind when I was painting this scene. I said, there's wild horses in the Outer Banks, and I put a horse in here. And when I was growing up, this kind of takes me back to when I was growing up, because I'm sure some of you had this too, is horseshoes was a much bigger game than it is now.
Oh, yeah.
Nowadays we have I guess it's the cornhole or whatever, but
yeah.
When I was going to summer camp and I was going to Bible camp, we would play horseshoes. And I don't know if just too many people got hit in the head with a horseshoe or what exactly happened with it. Maybe it fell out of favor for one reason or another, but it took me back to childhood a little bit and saying, I remember playing horseshoes and that was fun. So for whatever reason, just decided to put those fit right there to me.
I still see some yards around places that have the horseshoe, stake and whatnot. I don't know if they play horseshoes there, but they still have the setup for it.
Yeah, and you live out in the country, don't you, Mindy?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe it's still alive in some places in the country.
Yeah, but you're right. Cornhole is just kind of, maybe it just times change. Cornhole is easier to set up. It's probably less dangerous. I don't know.
Yeah.
Some of those things, those dying, staples of childhood, or
Right. Yeah, I've been watching some shows where some different toys were taken off the market that used to be the norm, and I guess what happens when too many kids get hurt. They come off the market, but I don't know why that one fell out of favor with the horseshoes, but I want to bring it back and
I know.
Put it in my backyard and try it
out. Good staple.
So anyway, I'll talk about this. Got a little crab hidden over here. There are.
Oh, you sure do.
There are some. If you go to some of these beaches that are not built up on the East Coast, especially on the Outer Banks, and you go out at night, these ghost crabs, I think they're called ghost crabs or blue crabs, are everywhere. And you have to watch where you're walking or you'll just step right on them. There's so many of them running around in the sand dunes, and most of them are pretty small.
I think we saw them when we went to Myrtle Beach. We saw crabs come out at night like that, scurrying around on the beach.
Yeah. That's good if you can see them at Myrtle, because Myrtle's so built up now that you don't see a lot of the wild stuff anymore. But we've always gone to Myrtle almost every year because my dad grew up going to Myrtle, and I think he's gone for like 60 straight years, he told me. So
really?
We always meet him over there, him and my mom over, and have a little family time for a week in the early part of the summer. And so, but we do drive out a little ways from Myrtle and try to find some beaches sometimes that are not built up and are pretty.
Oh yeah, that's the best, when you can get off like the beaten path and get out into some of the less traveled places.
Yeah, exactly. And over there towards Myrtle Beach, there's a place called Bird Island that's a protected area. And you can ride a bike down there. If you ever go to Myrtle Beach, drive up to a place called Bird Island. It's off of Sunset Beach there, and you can rent a bike, and it's about 5 miles round trip to the end of Bird Island. But my wife loves to ride out there bikes, and so we try to do that once in a while when we're visiting.
Well, you know what? I know of another little island. It's about a 5-mile bike ride around. It's called Mackinac Island. Come on up to Michigan.
Okay, I got to put that on the list. If I make it up there, I need to contact you again, Mindy, to find out what else do I need to go see it's going to be, some of it's what you go see when you go to a place, because you can
Yeah.
drive right past beautiful stuff and not know it's there
Yep.
if you it's just not aware of what's there.
Somebody asked the bird. I think they're pelicans, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Some pelicans to break up the sky there a little bit more.
I'll never forget the first time we were someplace and I saw a pelican. I was like, oh my gosh, a pelican. It's a pelican, because we don't have pelicans here.
Yeah. They're pretty majestic birds. They're bigger than you think too.
Yeah.
When, up close.
That was what surprised me the most, how big they were.
Mm-hmm. And I got a few seagulls in, and they're larger than you think. Some of them.
Now we get seagulls, and we'll get seagulls in the grocery store parking lot. I don't know why, but they'll be there.
Let's see. I got the weather vane up here on the top of the house, and that's almost like I pulled in. Yeah, so kind of pulled in a theme from the farm a little bit with the weather vane and just the coastal area having some wind. Got the lantern there. It's kind of an old style lantern, almost think of like an antique lantern.
I love diamond painting the lights and things. Those always turn out really nicely, the way that they render those.
I was thinking with this one, like the early settlers to the Americas might be using an old lantern like this. And I don't know how old the anchor here would be, but I just think about these old antique style stuff and to pull those kind of elements into my paintings and just give them almost a nostalgic feel. That's what speaks to me anyway.
Yeah.
Then over here, I'll show you a couple more details before we move to the final piece. There's a bicycle right here behind the bushes.
Yeah. Joe just noticed that, the bike on the fence.
I'm not sure how that will come through on a diamond painting.
It would probably come through pretty well.
Okay. But one thing we do like about going to these beach communities when we have a chance, we don't travel that much, but when we go maybe once a year, if we can make it to the beach, then a lot of these areas biking is pretty nice to do because it's flat.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's maybe flat around where you live anyway.
Yeah.
Assuming. Around Georgia where we are, it is not flat, and it's you're going to be up and down hills most of the places that you try to ride, and so it's just a different experience and takes more exertion to a lot more stress than you want to do with riding sometimes. But out at the beach, go to anywhere along the coast, the land is just flatter and you can ride around. These little beach towns are pretty fun to ride around. So I wanted to put them kind of one of the older style little, I forgot what they call these things.
A little cruiser bike?
Cruiser bikes, yeah, the cruiser bikes where they're, you're not going mountain biking on this thing. You're just going around some sidewalks and down around the streets and go see the sights along the beach. So
I mean, truly, in a lot of these kind of places, it's a great way to get around,
Yeah.
Hop on your bike.
And then one of the last things I'll talk about here is this birdhouse. Sort of what was I thinking with this was, along with the different architecture of the house, was what would be an interesting architecture for the birdhouse. And rather than just doing a standard, typical birdhouse, I had seen some different artists who actually build these type of birdhouses and do elaborate things. It's got, looks like a mansion of a birdhouse.
Condo style.
Yeah. So I thought that'd be fun to put in a painting, and putting some bluebirds there. I do love bluebirds.
Oh, I know. They're so pretty.
We finally, I don't know if I said this last time, but we finally got a bluebird to nest in our backyard.
Oh, you got one to nest? Nice.
In our birdhouse. I've had the birdhouse out there for about
nice.
Maybe I've had it probably at least 10 years, maybe 12. and we never get a bluebird in it. It was always some other type of bird living in that house. And then
Oh yeah, somebody else moved in.
literally we were just breaking ground to, like, just about to break. We had some things done preliminary to do this backyard remodel, and right when we're starting, I noticed that a bluebird couple has made their nest in our birdhouse.
Nice.
Years. And I told my wife, now how are we gonna preserve this bluebird and
Yeah.
not take them away when we do the remodel? And so what I ended up doing was I dug up the birdhouse and I moved it a few feet each day. I would just, I wasn't touching the top of it. I was just grabbing the pole and I'd move it back, 3 or 4 feet one day, and then hey, they're still going to it. 3 or 4 feet another day, they're still going to it. So, no, I was hoping they wouldn't notice that their house was just gradually migrating.
We're moving.
Property, right? It's on wheels almost. So, so that was kind of an interesting problem to solve. And
they stayed, and everything's fine, huh?
They did stay. There was one morning that I didn't get it set up. I was using this chair to brace it. I didn't get it set up so well. One morning we wake up and the birdhouse is laying on the ground. And the pole and everything is just like, I don't know, I guess it slipped off of whatever I had it propped on, or big wind or something jumped up there. Anyway, my wife was telling me that the birds were flying all around it and frantic. So, they're probably not going to come back. They're never going to use it again. I was devastated. And then I got it set back up, and sure enough, the next day they were back in. They weren't giving up. So
nice.
Got it to the edge of the property. They stayed, had their little babies, came out, and so it was a success. And we didn't have that many mosquitoes because they eat mosquitoes.
That's awesome.
So that was a good story. Maybe they'll come back this next year, I hope.
Yeah, they probably will.
So okay, so anything else on this one? We'll move to the next one.
I think you covered that one really well. I think you did a nice job. That's beautiful.
Well, I hope it comes out as a diamond art piece one of these days, and you guys can enjoy it. We'll move on to the next.
I know a lot of people said that's a must-have for me.
All right, we'll move this one back and try the last one. I'm assuming I have not shown this before.
No, I have not seen this one anywhere. Whoa.
So let's see if I can give you guys the big picture of it.
Wow.
So this painting, I call it, well, I went through about 20 names and I couldn't come up with what was the exact right name. And finally one hit me and I call it This Side of the Sea. This Side of the Sea reminded me of a storybook name almost, or a novel name. If I were going to write a novel, maybe I would name it that. This Side of the Sea. But I just wanted to explore doing something kind of a magical or mysterious town based on European architecture, European style housing and buildings, and then just a few different other elements that I pulled together to be a little different town that you might just want to live in or hang out for a while.
Yeah.
So there's a lot going on in this one that I can talk about.
This one has more than one lighthouse.
Yeah, actually it does. You're right. So in 3 paintings, we got 4 lighthouses tonight. So
we're up on lighthouses today.
There you go. So if you don't like lighthouses, this wasn't your night, I guess.
Who doesn't love a lighthouse? Come on.
But one thing I really do like about the stone lighthouses, and I don't see too many like this. This is a style you see very often, but I noticed back in the day, there were some other artists like Kincaid and others who would do the stone lighthouses, and I really like the way that looks.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to incorporate that feeling in with what I'm doing with this painting, and so I kind of designed I had the stone, and then it was a little too much stone, all if like just being stone, and so I basically imagined these wood pieces that would come around and be a little different architectural detail.
I like the windows on that one.
Mm-hmm. Windows. And then here's the other little lighthouse that you saw.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yep.
in the distance, and it's somewhat similar. I didn't really vary it too much. But I think of lighthouses as symbols of guiding us towards truth in a lot of ways. That's what
Mm-hmm.
they mean to me, because you think about how they function for a sailor, right? They keep them from running aground. They keep
Yep.
them from getting into danger.
Mm-hmm.
And they're beacons of light that we look to, so to speak, and thinking about the analogy of them, that we're looking towards truth. We're looking towards things that keep us on the right track and keep us on the right path. And so that's what they mean to me, and try to apply that to life. And then a lot of my paintings, you'll notice I have a church in there.
Church
And,
on that one. Mm-hmm.
it's something that, for me, it harkens back to my faith. But I know not everybody is a Christian or goes to church or whatever, but you can appreciate a lot of the architectural beauty just of church buildings being in
Oh
town.
yeah.
The way
Well,
that,
you know what? We're in a church that was renovated to be a retreat space.
oh, really?
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So they have a lot of different functions. And I mean, even going over to Europe, you can tour these old, majestic cathedrals. It's just amazing that they put that much
Oh
effort.
yeah. The architecture of some of those things is just phenomenal.
I went to Notre Dame one time in Paris. I was only in Paris for a day on my way to Africa, because when I was in college, I did an internship in Africa. And so I was in Paris for one day and got to go to Notre Dame Cathedral. And I was just amazed at, the architecture that they put into things like that. So, um, but I like the European architecture all around. And so getting some of these stones into the different houses, the
This
stone,
one's gorgeous.
um, the little cottages, and the way that they pull in the thatched roofs in certain parts of England and UK. I have not been to England and UK, but I've seen pictures of the different ways they used to do the cottages there. So I pull that in to the scene. I don't know, it just gives it a little bit of an ethereal feel to me, something nostalgic maybe.
Yeah. I can picture sitting in the one little cottage there by the water and just watching
Mhm.
people come and go if they're going out to fish or they're just going out for a sail or whatever they're doing as they're leaving the little cove here.
Yeah. The sky, I went for the sun breaking through the clouds, kind of the sun leaving that dappled light on the different buildings and landing in different spots.
And again, you can see where the light does land on different things.
Right. And the water took me quite a while to figure out how I was going to do the waves right. I think I repainted this about 3 or 4 times. Just where do I want this light up here to come down, and where do I want that to land, and then what colors do I want in the water? It's always a little bit of a challenge to say, how do I want to reflect the light? How do I want this water to look? And I knew I wanted some of the turquoise colors that I have in here on the foreground, and then I knew I wanted some of these light yellows and light reflections coming in the middle here, also pulling in some of the can see some of the pinks and the purples as those.
The water is always amazing. You do a wonderful job with water, no matter what type of water it is. If it's a rougher water or just very calm, peaceful water, you always catch the water very well.
And I assume, based on what you've said, that a lot of that will come through in terms of how you're putting the drills on.
Oh yeah, that would be like 40 colors right there, probably, in drills. You know what I mean? Just
yeah. Sounds like a lot to switch between, but maybe it turns out good, right?
yes, and that's what happens exactly when you have sections like that, and you get so many different colors, a few of these, a few of those, and then they just all seem to just magically blend together to create the effect that was intended.
Let me see what else we got here that I can show you. I've got the cobblestone road that comes down here. We got some seagulls in this one.
There's a cat.
A lot of seaside themes tonight, I guess.
There's a little kitty.
Yeah, so I got a cat here. So one of the things I put, maybe as juxtaposed a little bit would be the seagulls are hanging out, and then you got the cats hanging out here, and you got some cats hanging out.
I got some more over there.
Okay, and then I've got a kitten down here, and you got your seagulls hanging here. So they're all kind of looking at each other. And
correct me if I'm wrong, but cats aren't one of the more popular or more common animals in some of your paintings, are they? Cats.
I put some in some here and there. I
love the cats in this one.
Maybe I should put a few more in. Sometimes I'll hide more. Maybe I should put a few. I grew up with 4 cats when I was a kid. My dad said, so my brother, we had no cats when I was about maybe 6 or 7, and then maybe 6, and then my brother, who was 4 at the time, my younger brother, he found a stray kitten that had wandered up to our yard, and of course he begged to keep it, and my dad said no way. And long, of course, my brother went out, and
you have the cat,
and then we ended up with, between all the kittens, we ended up with 4 cats growing up. And so they were good pets. Had a few dogs along the way.
Yeah, I'm kind of into cats now. Back in the spring, we rescued 3 kittens. So our life is filled with cats now, and they're just so much fun. So
yeah, they are. They're a little self-sufficient most of the time. You don't have to do too much for them, right?
Sherry was just asking about the boats. I saw one had love on it. One of the boats has love.
That's something I want to talk about. So let me zoom in here. So on each of the 4 boats, I put a word. And this one, I put wisdom. On this one, on the back, I put love. And I don't know if that's just looking reverse because of the camera. But
yeah, it looks fine to us, yeah.
Okay. Mike.
Truth.
And then, okay, so you got wisdom, love, and truth. The last boat has my daughter's name, so it's not really in the same category, but I just wanted to do something for her as just a tribute to my love for her. So I put her name on the final blue boat. Blue is my favorite color.
Nice.
I haven't put her name in many paintings, so I hid that one back there.
Now, my guess would be when they render that as a diamond painting, that those words, at least the ones in the back, are smaller, and they probably wouldn't come through on the diamond painting. Love will come through on that one because it's larger letters. But my guess would be that those others aren't going to render out on the other boats. But
it's good stuff. Yeah, and so let me tell you a little bit about why I did that. I think these principles really matter for life, right? And they're, to me, what values you have and what you base your life on really make a big impact. And whether you've lived a successful life or whether you're living a life that towards your potential or towards the way you were designed to live. So for me, wisdom is, I think back to like in the Old Testament, there, if you're familiar with the Old Testament, there's a person named Solomon who was a king, and he was asked, he could pray for any, he could receive any one gift that he wanted, that God would grant him. And he asked, instead of riches or instead of fame or instead of pleasure, instead of anything he could have asked for, he asked for wisdom. And so God granted him to be the wisest person. And he was also given a lot of other things with that wisdom. And so for me, when I'm thinking about that, I think wisdom is a great thing to pray for. And that's something I pray for, something I try to base my life on. And wisdom can be found a lot of places. It's not just in the Bible. There's a lot of life experience. There's a lot of people who have gone through things or know things that we can learn from.
Yeah.
Of course, the opposite of that would be foolishness. And we're all subject to that, right? And so for me, I try to say, let me not down paths of foolishness. Let me not chase after something that's foolish. Make wise decisions and find things that will be worthwhile and meaningful and turn out well, I guess. So the concept of wisdom means a lot to me. Also, love. Obviously, that's one of the central themes of the Bible: to love God, to love others. And I think of love personally as an action more than a feeling. A lot of our world is like, well, I feel love towards something or whatever. But really, love, the concept of love in its purest form, is an action that's caring about somebody else's well-being. That's caring that someone else survives and does well and grows and is fulfilling their potential, and we want the best for them, right? And looking out for someone else's best interests, really, I think, is love. And
love is an action, how you do things for people and treat people. And
yeah. And I think it can be confusing in our world because we say, well, I say it too, is we all say, well, I love pizza, or I love ice cream, or I love a certain sport, maybe, say I love painting, I love diamond art, whatever. And that's all well and good, right? But that's a little bit different meaning. We're saying love because we like it a lot, and nothing wrong with that. But that's, I think it helps to come back to what the real principle of true love, the way we find.
It's what you do for each other, how you treat each other.
Correct. So that means a lot to me. And then the truth is along the same lines as just some of these core basic principles for life, is trying to avoid so many of the lies that we face in the world. Sometimes it's hard to know what's true and what's not. And so basing your life on truth and basing your decisions on truth really, to me, makes life go so much better. Or in the end, it will be better for us when we base on truth. Now in a world with so many con artists and so many people trying to.
Oh yeah.
I get so many emails. I'm sure you guys do too.
Oh yeah.
Texts that are not legit, and someone posing as a bank, or someone posing as a UPS, or posing as whatever, your car warranty expired.
Yeah.
Whenever when we base it on something that's not true, we believe something that's not true, what ends up happening is there's usually a consequence that goes with that. And if we follow into what the con artists would want us to do, obviously we're probably gonna lose out in that situation.
Yeah.
But that's true of 1,000 different angles of life too. And to me, that matters the most for spiritual truth, because there's nothing more important that we can ask ourselves than, where did we come from? Where are we going? What is the meaning of life? And what is right and wrong? All these kinds of things have big implications for our life, but we don't think about them as much as we should sometimes. So I put those in my paintings to remind me and to remind others, hey, let's focus on these principles, be a seeker, and look for where you find the truth. And we might not always all agree on all that, right? But being a seeker and listening to other people and trying to find the truth, I think, is a worthwhile cause that we can be involved with. So that's my, I guess I'm kind of preaching now, but it's something that matters to me, and that's what I want my paintings to communicate, those kinds of ideas if they can. So, my favorite verse, I'll throw this in there. One of my favorite sayings is Jesus says, "I'm the way, the truth, and the life." So when Jesus says he is the truth, that's something we all have to decide on: is he the truth or not? And for me, that is what I base my life on. That's what uh, I'm inspired to paint. That's the reason I'm inspired to paint. It's everything to me. And I know that's not true for everybody, or your viewers may have, some of you guys may have different views. And art is for everyone to enjoy, but I'm just sharing what the inspiration is for me and how I base my life. So you guys can make that what you will, I guess.
Well, it's very beautiful for sure.
So,
In sentiment and just.
give you the big picture here. What else was I going to talk about? This one is, I guess you guys saw the dolphin here.
Yeah.
I got that one jumping. And then
That was one of the first things I noticed when you put it up there.
Dark silhouette. The boats are, I think back to like old fishing boats, or I'm not sure what all you would do with these kind of boats, but maybe they were ferry boats or just things people go out fishing in.
Yeah.
Be more of a sport boat of some kind. But that really speaks to me more than like the modern type boats and the things you would see now if you were going to a boat show or something. I like this kind of nostalgic feel.
Oh yeah, some of those older boats are beautiful. More handcrafted. They're just, some of them are works of art.
Yeah, so let's see. Put the light post over here. And steps going up. I guess you guys saw those. This little cottage overlooking the bay. But yeah, I just think of a town like this as a place. This would be a great vacation little spot. Just great place to live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Place to stay.
Well, so many of your paintings are that way. It's like, oh, I'd love to be there.
Yeah, that's part of the fun of painting too, is escaping into the place that I'm painting.
Yeah.
I found that when we were doing our backyard renovation, I took quite a little bit of time off. I was out there working and trying to organize some contractors. And if you've ever done that, you know it is not for the faint of heart to keep up with everything that you have to do to have any construction work done. But I found myself just sometimes just feeling more and more stressed than I normally feel, and feeling more like I'm having more, I don't know, not necessarily anxiety, but just feeling like not as peaceful. So when I was able to get back to painting and find more time again for that, that really was a blessing.
Yeah.
find that. And I assume that's what a lot of you would like about diamond art too, is
Absolutely.
something relaxing, something
Yep.
get away from the,
Mm-hmm.
just all the stress of life that we all have.
Yep.
Of course, we all got our different struggles, but
You just kind of zone out and you do your own thing, and the cares of the day can just kind of, fade away a little. And yeah.
let's see. So, I think is that about everything I wanted to talk about with this one. So, I don't know if there's any other questions or any other thing you wanted to talk about tonight. But
Oh, did you want to talk about the like beta test thing?
oh yeah. So I was gonna, I can come back on here for a minute here. So yeah, I was going to mention that I am looking for anyone who would like to um, help me out in some way, as far as like um, reviewing ideas, I guess is the best way to put it. Seeing different styles or seeing different, for example, a layout, a design that would be one way and another one would be another way, and getting feedback for um, what I should move forward with. What do people like? Those kind of things. So, I mean, maybe I would call it a feedback group. So it could be a beta tester group, feedback group. If you would like to be a part of that, I would love to have you sort of review some ideas, some concepts, and see what you like and see what you think would speak to you, and maybe that would speak to others too, right? Because I can't. My problem is I can't really move forward with all the ideas I have, and I can't really move forward with all the projects I have or would like to do, and so just having some folks to bounce some ideas off of might be helpful for me. So if that's something you would like to personally do, I was going to have a link that you could go to, and I just didn't have enough time to set that up. But if you send me an email I have a business email that's chuckpinsonart@gmail.com. That's chuckpinsonart@gmail.com, and just mention that you would like to, you could put feedback group or beta tester or whatever. If you would like to help me out and participate in a group like that, well, I'd be grateful. And I don't know that I can't promise, but if I ever have something I can give away to a group like that, if I have something that I could ship out or something digital that I could give you, and as a gift or whatever, I would like to do that. That's my intention, but I can't promise what it would be. But I just would appreciate if any of you would like to do that.
Yeah.
That would be meaningful. And I don't know what it will be. I don't have like a set, like, okay, I'm going to send something out once a month or once a year, or when it will be. I just know that it would be helpful to me to have sort of a small group of people who would like to um, just be sort of just someone who helps me see where I should go forward, if that makes sense. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So thanks for reminding me on that, Mindy.
Yeah. Yeah. I forgot the G, you guys, in Gmail.
Yeah.
Trying to type it.
It should be chuckpinsonart@gmail.com, right?
I'm on my laptop without my keyboard, and my keys on my laptop are being like, my G's not working. I have to but it is Gmail. See, I can't get my G to work. There. Now I got two G's. All right, you guys know. And I'll keep putting it out there for you too. So.
Yeah, but one of the hard things about being, wanting to be creative and having a lot of ideas and being an artist is you might have all these different ideas, or at least I do, all these different ideas of different styles and different things to paint and different ideas and different projects, and it's always just hard to know. You can't chase them all, right? You can't do it all.
Right.
And, I've found that I mainly stuck with some of the things that I've just really liked the most and has resonated the most with
Yeah.
others. So
Yeah.
that's most of the paintings that you guys see today. But I
Yeah.
don't want to limit it just to only being that if I have some other ideas too.
Perfect. And once again, thank you, because you did arrange to have some things sent for some giveaways for some of our events. And we're going to give those away. And thank you so much for being so generous and, providing something that somebody's just going to just absolutely love and be so happy to receive as a prize. So thank you so much for doing that.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you're more than welcome. I'm happy to do that. And I really do wish I could give something to everybody. That would be my hope and intention one day.
Yeah.
Something to everybody. But at this point, I guess we have to do it by whatever method you've got going on there, Mindy, and however you decide who gets that. But if I ever do have something digital, download, I was thinking maybe a screensaver or something.
Yeah, that would be cool. Yeah.
Or if anybody else has another idea of something I could do that's not doesn't involve hours of writing out addresses and shipping labels and all that kind of thing,
Yeah.
That's just not where I'm at in terms of being able to do. But if there's something I can give away that's easily downloadable or something you can have, then I'm happy for you.
Absolutely. That would be awesome. Yeah.
Yeah. Love to do that sometime. So send me ideas.
Yeah. That'd be great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, we totally appreciate you taking time to stop in and share your beautiful artwork with us and your inspiration and your thoughts. And, all of us here in this group are total fans of your work, and, look forward to every new thing that comes out, because it's always just fantastic. Your devotion and your inspiration and your talent just always comes out. So, it's there. It's gorgeous. So you're blessed.
Well, thank you for saying that, Mindy, and that means a lot to me. I really am honored by all of you folks, and you especially, Mindy, and I'm just honored to be able to share what God gave me with the world, and that people like it and accept it. It's just such a blessing. And
it is, yeah.
It matters to me that it matters to others, and so that means a lot. And so I appreciate
your work has real value out in the world.
But that is so rewarding to know and to hear, and so I don't take it for granted, and I don't take you guys for granted. You mean a lot to me, and I appreciate all of you, and that you would select my work to be something that you would like to work on that matters. And so thank you for that, and I wish you well with it. I hope you really enjoy it. Hope it looks good on your wall. And
it's beautiful on your wall. On our walls. Yeah. So thank you again for coming on and sharing with us. We love it so much and appreciate it. So
absolutely.
Don't work too hard. Enjoy the backyard.
That's right. Will do. And one of the days I will send some pictures or post some pictures somewhere. I might have to send them to you, Mindy, and you can show them.
Send me pictures. I can always put them in a video or something like that.
Yeah, that might be fun. Or
I can certainly do that. That'd be great.
At some point, it may not be immediately, or when we get around to it, we will.
Yeah, that'd be great. I'd love to do that. All right. Well, you take care. Don't work too hard. Take time out. Like I said, enjoy the backyard. Come to Michigan. Let me know when you're on your way.
I will not be coming in winter, just so you
know. No. Okay. It's pretty in winter too, but it is probably more pleasant in spring, summer.
If I can't go skiing, I don't want to go anywhere.
You can ski here. You can ski in Michigan.
Oh, you got some places up there?
We got some ski hills around.
All right. I'll have to look into that.
You'd be surprised. Michigan is just like, many wonderful surprises in Michigan.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks so much. And we will talk to you again soon. And when you get a free moment, you want to send me over some pictures or something, just go ahead and do that when you got a minute. And I'd love to share them with people.
Sure, that'll be fun and interesting. So something
Yeah.
we could talk about again next time.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. All right. Great. Thank you
All right.
so much. I guess I'm going to be going and getting my group picture taken for our retreat now. So, yep.
Well,
So
you take care.
enjoy the rest of your week coming up, and we will talk soon.
All right. Sounds
All right.
good.
Thank you.
You
All
all
right.
have a good one.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.